Alright, hey everybody. I can make one more video before I have to worry about cleaning up storage. Let's take that rook. Oh, there we go. Nope. There we go. Take that rook. This is interesting. Let's push a pawn. Try to deflect the knight. I hope I'm loud enough for y'all. I'd like to deflect the bishop. It requires 2 tempo. Queen to c7 and then pawn to d6. Excuse me, d6. But that would leave the knight at e7 hanging, so I need to defend it first with rook to e8. I'm going to try some center play here. Simple pawn takes pawn. Yeah, he's offered a draw that's actually quite reasonable. If I make a move, I lose a piece. And look at it again. I can afford losing that knight. Good old Larry Kasparov. Set this up. Queen to c2, most likely followed by bishop to b3. Oh, my good old friend Shelton Wong. It's not his real name. I won't disclose that to respect his anonymity. Anonymity. It's like a 90-word Scrabble word. Okay, that's a joke. It's a bad joke. Alright, here we go. This is checkmate. Share this game. Facebook. Gotta allow this. I always clear my Facebook data. It's about almost 500 megabytes. And I typically delete it. There we go. So that was a checkmate. Alright, just give me 1 second. I'm going to pause it for a moment. Alright, back in the fray. Let's see here, we're back out of this. Next game. Seems reasonable. Alright, so we're going to play bishop to a3, intending pawn takes e5. You know, knight takes e5 is logical. Pawn takes e5 is a mistake. He won't make that, but we'll see. Oh. I didn't submit that. Alright, let's see. Let's get this over there. Let's see where we are here at 9:32 on the 12th. Today's date is the 11th. Alright. Oh, this was my good friend Toranage. Oops. It's not Trey. T. He proceededly responded that he doesn't like coffee, likes tea. So I'm just concurring that I too don't drink a lot of coffee. I too prefer tea. It's interesting. He was pretty vicious in our earlier moves. It was almost insulting. I'm not gonna say anything about Japanese people because I don't want to get any flack, but I'll just say this: a majority of them don't like Westerners. I'm not saying it stems from World War II, but I am saying it just stems from being a Westerner. So we'll just leave it at that. But I'm trying to come to terms with him. He did end his good luck with your chess ambitions. Winning is overrated, my friend. Let me say this. Oh, yeah. Alright. I don't always need to win. I don't. I admire, that's a good term. Alright, so I say I have a philosophical approach to chess. Whoops. Oh, another typo. Oh! It's been typo, sorry. I'm just gonna read this again. Alright, so I will send that. So that philosophical statement, the aesthetically elegant game wins most gracefully and often. Now in chess, there are a few concepts. Aesthetics is one of the concepts. How elegant is your game? How precise is your movements in the opening, the middle game, and the end game? And of course, there's also a concept called entropy. Now, entropy in chess is very interesting. Entropy in reality is making opportunities for change. And in chess, it's very important. And I believe they're both tied in together. And I say that the aesthetically elegant chess game wins most gracefully and often because if your game is aesthetically elegant, which means it's balanced, the opening is precise, the middle game is equally precise, the end game is overtly precise, you'll win most often, and you'll win gracefully. Now, when I say win gracefully, I mean you'll win in the fewest moves possible. A aesthetically elegant game of chess wins with the fewest moves possible. So you're not moving a lot, you're not backtracking, you're not making up missteps. You're precise in your play, and you precisely win. And to me, that's aesthetically elegant. Because to have those positions, you have to be aesthetically elegant. You have to have elegant positions. You have to have the positions that are required to win the game quickly. And you're not going to make your opponent wait. You're not going to backstep. You're not going to try to come back. You know, tempo is a very important concept in chess. Tempo is move order, basically, but it's how many moves it takes you to do something. And how many moves it takes you to do something to win chess can be calculated. You know, game theory talks about this. Game theory has one tic-tac-toe. It's very basic. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember, but you move a piece to like a corner, and you basically make your opponent have to make two choices to not lose, and you make the other choice. In chess, game theory has not solved it, nor has game theory solved Go, also known as Wei Qi in Chinese, and which is stone chess, I do believe. Shang-Chi is elephant chess, if I'm not mistaken. And those have not been solved because there is a theory in Go, Wei Qi, that the board has a potential of infinity, an infinity of possible arrangements. So the game is so diverse, but chess is a little more limited. It's not on a 90 by 90 board. It's on an 8 by 8 board, and there are 16 pieces. So we should be able to calculate game theory with chess, but we can't. And why? Because the game is so diverse. But if you play an elegant line, in my opinion, philosophically, you should be able to attain a win most elegantly and most gracefully, and most often, because you're playing such a strong line that you are driving your position to achievement. You are driving your position to a win. You are driving your position to besting your opponent. And I believe that is possible. I believe that is calculatable. I believe game theory can attain that and learn about that. And when that happens, that's going to be terrifying, because you're going to have scholars who know about that. You're going to have game engines that know about that. The current game engines, it's interesting. There is actually a tournament for chess engines. They pit each engine against each other. Now, these engines are drawing upon previous games and their notations. And they're saying, okay, well, if I go through this iterations and I have this position, I have this advantage, which is interesting because that's a back-end attempt to solve chess. But chess doesn't necessarily have a back-end game solved to it. There are many former great masters, including Jose Raul Capablanca, that say learn the end game first, because it doesn't matter where you arrive at the end game. If you know all your end games, you can win. So what is an aesthetically elegant game? Is it precise play in the opening? Is it methodical, precise play in the middle game? Is it classical theory in the end game? What is it? We don't know. We still don't know. And this game is well over 100 years old. Rio Lopez, a Spanish monk who is eponymously known as the Rio Lopez defense, studied chess many years ago, and we still don't know how we can arrive to a precisely calculatable endgame. And I concur, and I state that an aesthetically elegant game from the opening to the middle to the end game should arrive at a determined result. That's just my theory. I'm using theories of aesthetics. In philosophy, there's metaphysics, there's ontology, there's ethics, there's logic, but there's also aesthetics. Philosophy does take into account. Hang on, give me one more second. Philosophy does account for something known as aesthetics. And aesthetics is hard to pin down. We have philosophy of the mind, we have metaphysics, we have things that we can ground in actual science, like physics or cognitive sciences, respectively. But aesthetics is very subjective, and we're trying to correlate aesthetic principles to actual physical results. And that's difficult in philosophy. And we do our best. We try to grasp from logic and philosophy of the mind, cognitive sciences, and other things as such, excuse me, to describe something that is ultimately, what's the term? Not inevitable. If something is inevitable, it can be explained in terms. And if we talk about something that is uninevitable or inevitable, we're talking about something that we can't talk about in qualitative terms. And philosophy of the mind talks a lot about what is inevitable. We talk about something that's called qualia. Qualia is a characteristic of the brain, of characteristics of consciousness that we can't correlate with any sort of physical evidence. And we are challenged to quantify that. We're challenged to correlate that with physical aspects of the brain. We want to say this neural synapse creates this feeling, but we can't, because qualia is feeling. And qualia is inevitable. And that's what philosophy of the mind's a lot about. Now, cognitive sciences tries to counter that by saying, no, look, we do this, and there's this neural synapse, and you should feel this way. But that's not always the case. And that's where qualia comes into play. And that's that inevitable gap that we're trying to bridge. And in chess, a game of the mind, we have to challenge ourselves to say, what can we correlate? What can we quantify? What can be predicted? What can game theory prove? And we can't yet. And I challenge that by saying the aesthetically elegant game wins most gracefully and often. So I'm using an aspect of qualia to try to quantify an outcome of a game. Alright, I'm going to leave this one. Let's go to another one. Oh, same one. Alright, he has checkmate in one. This is not anything unpredictable. I'm glad I sent that last message. I really got nothing in this one too, don't I? I'm going to drop a pawn. Dropping a pawn's not the end of the world. But I don't have another rook to support my only rook left. Let's see here. See, this is where the qualia quantity conundrum, paradox, if you will, comes into play. What do I do? How do I get creative? How do I challenge any sort of quantified aspect of studying chess? And that's what chess engines do. Chess engines draw on former games, a game database. They see the lines. They predict what should be the next best move. They're often right, but not always. So we're going to do this. Excuse me. We're going to do queen to d4. Because if I have a counterplay by taking that pawn at d3, I can capture queen to e4, pinning that piece. So we're going to try that. Alright, we got 2 days on that. Alright, I got to address some other games here. Oops, excuse me. That's my S voice. Sorry, just trying to see where that was. That's on the 12th. That's tomorrow. I only have one choice here. I don't want to lose my queen. Excuse me. 7 days. 7 days. Excuse me. I don't really want to worry about that. I'm trying to move my rook. I'm not sure why I can't. Oh, I'm white. No. I'm a little confused as to why I can't make a move here. Oh, because I'm trying to make it on my own queen, or king rather. I'm trying to make it on my own king. All right. No, again, I can't seem to. I must be black in. Excuse me. I must be black in this game. Oh yeah, queen just moved. I'm black. All right. Duh. Sorry. All right. Let's do. Let's give check. And we're gonna stick on this for a little bit. Alright, so we're gonna push a pawn here. I'm gonna have to, excuse me, I'm gonna have to deviate for a bit. Alright, I'm back. Alright, let's see. That could be interesting. I'm decidedly down on this game. It's unfortunate. I do believe I need to defend against a checkmate. Pressure that piece. Right, obviously. Excuse me, there we go. Obviously, knight takes bishop. Well, that was one before the other one. I'm gonna lead with the bishop. I probably should have led with the knight, but I led with the bishop. Alright, this one is probably lost, but I'll fight my best. Fight! This one's decidedly lost, but come here. Try that. Alright, this is pretty early in the opening. Again, most likely decidedly lost. I'm going to try that. He's probably going to play pawn to, what would that be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That would be pawn to c6. He'll probably play that. It's a bit of a tempo game there. Alright, we can tuck our king away. He might play rook to a7, threatening the pawn at a6, but I do have a rook on that. Alright, so when they do that, we just promenade, if you will, with a knight. Alright, so we're going to double up the rooks here in a strange formation, but not atypical. Alright, so that's not too concerning for me. I can actually push that pawn if I want. Let's give it a try. Alright, let's see here. We're gonna go for a fork. I'm gonna go for a fork. It would be knight to, let's see, A, D, C, E, F, G. It would be knight to E6 on the queen and the rook. We'll see if that works. I could double up the pawns on the second rank, but his bishop does have that connected. Now I'm going to try to deflect the rook. Alright, the bishop, excuse me. Oh, that's interesting. That's a terrible fork. We don't want to see that, now do we? Alright, well I dropped my queen. Alright. Monster Boy's dad, man. He's a monster boy. And it's the dad. Alright, so let's do this. Alright, so we can open up this attack here. Alright, so, oh, golden boy. Alright, we have an afforded opportunity. Let's hope that works. Alright, so that's that. Alright, I'm going to close this video now. Have a good day.